if you look at U.S. policy on a day-to-day basis, you see a reluctance to escalate. You see a tremendous concern that the situation in Syria is going to overwhelm other U.S. initiatives in the region and overwhelm broader U.S. policy concerns. If you step back, though, and look at U.S. policy, and I would say more broadly, Western policy, in 3-month increments, if you will, you actually see a steady escalation. There was initially, I think, a strong effort to avoid this issue. Then there was rhetorical pressure. Then there was significant rhetorical and economic pressure. Then there was more reach out to the opposition. There's humanitarian aid to the opposition. And now there's, I would not say cooperation, maybe too strong a word, but certainly tacit cooperation with allies that are providing quite significant arms to the Syrian opposition. So we're seeing steady escalation at the same time as I think there's a desire to avoid having the American hand be forced in this issue. I would say until really fairly recently, I would say until about 5-6 months ago, the assumption was that Bashar al-Assad was going to fall. So in a way, this problem would be taken care of. From a policy point of view, however, it's become in some ways a standoff, which is the worst of all worlds, that the government is too weak to win and the opposition is too weak to overthrow the government. So it's a lingering crisis, but as Bruce pointed out in, I think, his accurate but very scary remarks, it's one that threatens to really engulf the region. And as Suzanne said, it's one that, with the sectarian overtones, really could almost hijack much of what's going on positively in the region in the last year and really reshape the dynamic. So I think there's concern about that, but there's no desire in the American government, in the American bureaucracies, especially the Department of Defense, for a very aggressive American effort. I would say in the European powers, Libya was their last effort. What's happening on a daily basis in Greece is going to overwhelm any thought in European capitals about getting involved aggressively in the Middle East. And Turkey has been reluctant to be pushing very hard against Syria and has been looking for strong support from the United States for a more aggressive policy, and that is not forthcoming. So I think it's very much a backing into a more escalatory approach, but I think there will be a strong effort to try to limit the degree of U.S. exposure in this.